Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Arunachal Ramanaya. Om. Namaste everyone. Anyone wants to say something or even bhajan or anything you want to? You want to say, Lataji?
You want me to sing Tiruchuri Nadane or something else?
Yeah, the other day you sang and then I learned that one with notations.
Okay.
And it's beautiful actually. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you sing something new, that will help me to learn something new.
Okay. This is on page 11.
Okay.
Arunachalaya namo namo. Arunachalaya namo namo. Skandaya om 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 namo namo. Arunachalaya namo namo. Arunachalaya namo namo. Skandaya om namo namo. Skandaya om namo namo. Skandaya om namo namo. Swarnahastakaya namo namo. Swarnahastakaya namo namo. Mahaujasi om namo namo. Mahaujasi om namo namo. Samadrishe om namo namo. Samadrishe om namo namo. Skandaya om namo namo. Skandaya om namo namo. Skandaya om namo namo. Skandaya om namo namo. Udiptanaya namo namo. Udiptanaya namo namo. Maharshi om namo namo. Maharshi om namo namo. Saumyaya om namo namo. सौम्याय ॐ नमो नमो स्कन्दाय ॐ नमो नमो स्कन्दाय ॐ नमो नमो स्कन्दाय ॐ नमो नमो जगदोधराय नमो नमो जगदोधराय नमो नमो उत्तमपुरुषाय नमो नमो उत्तमपुरुषाय नमो नमो जीवन्मुक्ताय नमो नमो जीवन्मुक्ताय नमो नमो स्कन्दाय ॐ नमो नमो स्कन्दाय ॐ नमो नमो स्कन्दाय ॐ नमो नमो स्कन्दाय ॐ नमो नमो अरुणाचलाय नमो नमो अरुणाचलाय नमो नमो स्कन्दाय ॐ नमो नमो स्कन्दाय ॐ नमो नमो स्कन्दाय ॐ नमो 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 ॐ नमो 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 ॐ नमो 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 नमो
Beautiful, beautiful. Very nice.
ये राग भैरवी है हिंदुस्तानी में very beautiful rag and very nicely set it to tune beautiful.
In Rag Bhairavi, all are in Komal. All, everything is in Komal and it's so beautiful.
Yeah, very beautiful. In Carnatic, we call it Sindhu Bhairavi.
Okay. There are a lot of very nice bhajans in Rag Bhairavi. Actually, I had the notations of Ramana Sadguru Rayane in Rag Bhairavi. It came so nicely. The notation which is that Ramana Sadguru Ramana Sadguru Rayane Ramana Sadguru Ramana Sadguru Rayane. This one, it came so nice in Rag Bhairavi.
Yeah, I will prepare that. I need to just revise. I am not very fluent in that. We will sing. We will all sing next.
Yeah, it's very nice. What I'll do is I'll get on harmonium. I think now we have fixed it's not a problem. I think people could hear. I think with music it's fine. Someone told me how to set up on Zoom, so even instruments can be heard properly. And here comes Steve. I think, Steve, you want to say something? Or bhajan maybe. You want to sing bhajan today, I know.
Can you hear? No, I don't have to sing, do I? I don't have to sing. Yeah, okay. You wouldn't want that. My question might be better than my singing. So, although the juxtaposition after all that beautiful singing to what I'm about to say is unavoidable, I think. So, it's a question. Is that okay for today, right now? Okay. I have one child, a daughter. When she's growing up, she'd say things like, I wanted to get into college, good college and professional school, and she did. But she'd say, if you're there watching Barney or something, and say, don't you have time to get to your desk to study for Barney? Okay, I just get there. Oh, okay. Well, what if there's a little fire starting over here and there's a fire extinguisher at your desk? Could you get it? Yeah, I didn't like those questions. I was trying to tease out can't do it versus willingness, and when I'm on these calls like this, your calls in particular, I like to take advantage of that. I like to ask questions that sort of make a distinction I can then work with. Like if somebody says something like all about reincarnation, okay, then I go about my day. I don't get anything out of that. But if somebody says, there's a distinction between surrender and something else, I said, okay, everybody talks about surrender being so difficult about it. In wartime, there's no problem. You just put up the white flag and you surrender. All the stuff before that decision to surrender, that's terrible. It's very difficult. And likewise, if you ask somebody in the middle of the day, hey, would you jump off the curb here, like 6 inches? Oh, yeah, sure. You can do it. Take that person or another person in the middle of the night to someplace they can't see, ask them to jump. They don't jump. They can jump. Takes like the same amount of energy to make that 6-inch jump, but they can't see. They don't know what they're doing. So it's not really, and I think that goes for surrender, for example. Like it's easy to surrender, but developing the things necessary to get to that point of being willing to do so. Once I understood that distinction, then the game became, well, what are the impediments to getting to that level of willingness? And you talk about that all the time. I appreciate it. Like, what are your doubts? You said just the other day, trust the system. I pay attention to the exact words. And so here's the question. You may have covered this when you started doing these things. I know you didn't. When you're a little boy, you didn't. Somebody say, oh, yeah, my goal is to be a satsang. It just came upon you. So you may have covered this earlier when you found yourself doing these, but there are certain kinds of questions that I know you invite all of them, but certain ones that you find more helpful for the person or the listeners, and other ones that, well, they're okay. Like, why is Ramana Maharshi smiling sometimes? Well, he's happy if he's happy or pleased, that's like pleasure. I thought he's supposed to be indifferent to everything. Well, that's kind of a crazy question, well, maybe. So are there certain, I like ones that I can then work with and notice myself in my daily life from that point on, really, especially that particular day, being trapped. Like, am I going to make the right decision now that I know what it is, or am I going to exercise lack of faith in God and do something that I know I should not do, kind of, to God? Or am I going to practice what I preach? And, I would not do that, but at least I would be conscious of it. I would be in my face rather than just lost. Anyway, so that's the general question is, are there certain questions that you find, like in your own life, like if you've gone the path or you've done these kinds of meetings, that seem to be more helpful than others? Ben, thank you for letting me give the background a little bit about that.
Can you repeat what I understood? What you're asking is certain question more important than the other? That's what your question is?
If I'm trying to decide what a question to ask you, what might I think about in order to make that decision? Like, it's not, hey, how you doing? But what are the criteria for a really revealing, vital question? One that's just kind of worthless, really, but I hate to use that term. Or if anybody else knows what I'm talking about, I would invite them to.
So what are you asking? What is your question to me?
What do you consider? I hope it makes sense. What do you consider a good question?
I consider no question is the best question. No question is the best question. Because there's nothing to ask.
Okay.
Actually, there is nothing to ask.
Okay.
And I can explain you.
I'll take back that question then.
I can tell you why no question is best question. Because question means the mind is in doubt. The question means mind is not satisfied. The question means mind has not 100% trust and faith. The question means the mind is super active. And something in us is watching this drama unfolding, questioner, and then someone answering to the question, and this, I don't know how important it is, but the importance is to be in that energy, with or without question. And without question, that energy becomes more potent.
Okay, I'll ask you another question. Like, I started getting into your stuff by watching some videos, and then I thought, oh, he does these 3 times a week. So when I watch the videos,
no, I was doing every day. I was doing every day before, and then people said it's too much. Then I asked what is okay. Then people said 3 times a week is enough.
Yeah.
So I have not decided 3 times, because if it is in my hand to decide, I will say twice a day or thrice a day.
Yeah, I loved it a few months ago when you said, out in the world, the people I really love, I mean, you love everybody, are the people who are really into this, And so I appreciate your earnestness. And one more thing, let me just add. One of the videos I listened to, it may have been 3 years ago, you said, you can go to a teacher or something like that, and he'll be saying blah, blah, blah. And then you go back 5 years later, he's saying something different. 5 years later, he's got another formulation of the truth or practice. And then, lo and behold, by the time he dies, Jesus wasn't like this, by the way. It's the same thing. He's got something else, So that's what I look for in deciding where to spend my time like this. Like, is it just kind of going with the wind, or do I see the overall theme that's behind this person's teachings? And I appreciate the fact that you noticed that lots of gurus, they just don't do that. So I guess that's enough. Yes, but is it good enough if we're just nobody's saying anything to watch the videos? Because you often emphasize, yes, we got satsang, we can do this, we should be grateful that it's worldwide, we have technology. But if nobody says anything, would it be the same? I hate to look at it in these terms, transactional, but value to just watch a video from 3 years ago? Is there something about the liveness part of it that brings something to the table that watching a static video that's static does not? Hope you got that question. I think there is. I think I can feel it, but I'm not an expert in this.
While you are asking, while you are saying, you're also witnessing what you are doing in that sense, trying to ask something. But in that, you're also witnessing. And I give more importance to your witnessing to all this happening rather than the question and the question. Your silence, your witnessing is more important than all these questions. And I accept the questions also, because that's what is keeping these satsangs going, Something is making them happen, and your contribution is great in asking something. And I don't think there's anything irrelevant or relevant. The only thing is we have to catch the silence which is going on even during the question answer. And when the question answer is not there.
I appreciate that openness.
And the best thing I'll tell you about the satsang, a true satsang, is that unpreparedness. Unpreparedness. No topic. There are millions of teachers who have a topic. This topic today. So it's already in the domain of mind, like a planned territory. This and then this and then this. That's what the mind does. But without mind, every moment is like fresh, new. We don't know what is going to happen. Whether Steve will ask a question, or Lataji will sing a bhajan, or Neelakantanji who is not present today. And who decides who will do something or not, and how it will unfold. But the most important thing is that we should all be the witness to all this happening in the satsang. And a witness is the one who is not apprehensive, who is not expecting this or that. He's just open. Whatever comes, we will see. No apprehension. No notion that it should go this way or that way, or because all ways are just in form. These thoughts are in form, these forms are in a transition, but the silence which is allowing it to happen is profound. And that silence is all of us. It incorporates all forms, and it incorporates the gap in the forms and everything. This silence we experience all the time, and we keep missing all the time. This silence comes to us in form of santosha, contentment. The moment the question is being answered the way you want, you come here. And that is silence. You have a desire about something, and then it is fulfilled, small or bigger, and you come to this silence, this self in you. So everyone, every human being on earth is experiencing this self, which we say self-realization, but they don't realize that they're coming to this self all the time. Even without practice, everyone comes to it. And definitely in deep sleep, we all are in that silence where there is nothing. Sometimes we say this person is very angry, grumpy man, but in deep sleep, he is like Buddha. No anger. You see a person's face in deep sleep, shant. What is that which makes someone angry and now? Nothing. Only mind. So this association with mind, if we get rid of, we are all Buddha. Some even say to this extent that whatever this body is doing and its actions, which comes out of the nature, prakriti, I have disconnected myself with that. It was a typical dialogue of Nisargadatta Maharaj, though I have not heard from him. But Muji says it all the time, that Nisargadatta says so, that I have left my prakriti, my nature, to itself, and I am happy with it. This is actually very profound in a way, that when in a witness mode, there are so many deficiencies which appear very clearly, very transparent. So we know these are our deficiencies. Let's say you accept all deficiencies in you because some power has given it. It is nature. It is my nature, personality. I have to agree with it. If I've agreed with it, then there will be no conflict. Because first conflict is our internal conflict. That the sadhak or a seeker wants to behave in a particular way which he thinks is correct. And he has seen those, you can say, attributes or qualities in saints and sages, and he thinks, I'm not like that, I'm abrupt, I get angry, I get snappy, I still have greed, I love my sweets or whatever, and we think, so everyone has set up an image that a jnani should behave like this. So if a jnani you find is smoking or eating non-veg or having multiple partners or something similar to that, which is not sattvic, or we have coming from your culture, you don't accept that teacher, or you don't accept that, you think there's something wrong, because this is our own conditioning which makes us that it should be like that. But let's say we accept whatever the person is, including ourselves. Let him be free to do what he is doing as long as he is not causing harm to anyone else. Who are we to judge anyone, He is born with that prakriti. Like we see how dogs behave, Do we want them to fix and behave like human beings? We say he's a dog, let it be. Or a pig or any other animal. Same is with human beings. We are all born with a trait and we behave in a particular way. Not right, not wrong, let it be. The moment we come to this understanding, we are in deep peace. We have no issues then with our spouse or our relatives or close people, because our problems are only with the people we interact all the time, not with any, someone stranger living in our neighbor. Only with. But the moment you accept, because some power is looking after them, they have deliberately created that person like that to teach you a lesson if you think they are wrong. And if they are good, then you have no problem anyway. So accepting your own deficiencies and accepting others' deficiencies actually makes you completely detached from all deficiencies, because you are Purna, whole, complete. Everyone is complete. And all the deficiencies and changes we want to bring, they are all in the form. And form can never be complete. The reason is form is always changing. Form is associated with a mind always changing. One moment you like something, the other moment you like something else. Mind wants variety. Mind wants excitement. You witness all these intricacies of mind within you. You laugh on it. Sheer stupidity. And your witnessing makes you in peace. Though the mind might be whatever it is, That is why there are avdhuts, so many in India, realized beings. One of them was Sheshadri Swami, who took care of Bhagavan when Bhagavan came first time to Arunachala. He actually found him in Patal Lingam, where, all these insects was biting his body, and he was there for a few weeks. He took him out. But the issue here was that Sheshadri Swami was considered like a mad person by local people, and these kids used to tease him and throw stones and all. And if Sheshadri Swami like person is taking care of Bhagavan, then people will relate Bhagavan as someone like him. And Bhagavan was already, in Kopina and not having any bath and all those things. But realized being doesn't care about these things. So there are so many odd things related to body or related to behavior of the body. But what we are is completely unrelated to it, unaffected by it. This awareness, this self, this Brahman, once known by us, we accept whatever it is. Whatever deficiencies we don't want to correct. Correction means there is ego, like which sees deficiency in things. There were Indian sages like Ashtavakra, who was deformed at 8 places. That's why he was called Ashtavakra. Vakra is deformities. Realized being. Every seeker reads Ashtavakra Gita. He made King Janaka realize. Otherwise, someone who is deformed can always be in grip of depression or, low self-esteem, that what type of body I have. You read any scripture, bottom line is no identification with body. Who among us is practicing this all the time? No identification with body. Because bodily identification, if it stays, then nobody can escape from death. Because if you think your body will be dead sooner or later. Then we talk about moksha, immortality, mukti. There is no mukti with body. Mukti is only to realize that all happening in mind, all happening in body, all happening in word, all happening whatever. I am nirlep, uninvolved. Not by intellectual understanding, not by repeating this all the time. Repeating can be a practice, but that's not going to give mukti. But you know it, your own experiential understanding, by establishing in that awareness, which we call Brahman. And see that it is actually not difficult. Bhagavan says, Ati Sulbham, easiest. That's why I don't believe in other teachers. Other teacher says that you will get after 7 births, or I don't know. Bhagavan says Ati Sulbham. Bhagavan guarantees that you remember him, he remembers you. I am in you, not going anywhere. Some people who still love form and form right now, Arunachala is there. So support system is very strong support system. Literature full of devotion written by him. And definitely the path of jnana is what Advait is, which he lived, which he taught, and which he acknowledged in other older scriptures also. So there is all material, all support system for us. Such a big grace that still there is an ashram. Ashram people allow you to come there, stay there. Even if you can't stay inside, you can stay and you can still go there. You can feel the energy. People like David Godman, in his 70s, early 70s, I believe he was studying in Oxford. And a book fell in his lap written by Arthur Osborne. And he said he was looking to read and he was reading spiritual books at that time. Something in him wanted to know more about what it is. And he said that just stopped my search for any book. Raj, you want to ask anything? I'll just, sorry.
Hello, namaste everybody. Namaste Sanjay. I don't want to ask anything. I wanted to, since Lataji was singing, I don't want to sing also. I wanted just to show you a manifestation that happened after I came. I asked you for Bhagwan's picture when I came from Melbourne. And then something was in my mind and it just manifested. I wanted to show you my temple.
Beautiful, yeah. Show it.
Yeah, and I just also maybe can share to Steve, when I sometime and in the mind I'm, with all these things and I cannot come out, I just randomly scroll on the podcast and I randomly play anything and somehow something will click and go back to peace. So I let life decide what I must hear rather than mind to decide. Yes. So, see this. I don't know if you can see. Yeah. See, this is the picture of Bhagavan.
Yeah, beautiful.
With Arunachala. And my son, he picked up
there is neither past nor future. There is only the present. Beautiful.
Yes.
Very nice.
So we made this.
Oh, you made this one? Very nice.
Yes, we got it made. No, we did the whole thing, and you see, this is the picture you gave us, and then I got the picture from Arunachala, and yeah. Surprisingly, since this came, I don't know, I'm getting up early and I spend more time here now. And now there are flowers and now there is meditation in the morning before sunrise. And it's just not without planning. It's just how it is.
Same is Raj, if you come to Melbourne where we do face-to-face satsang, things are just coming, I believe, organically. Whoever gives anything, donations of pictures, and this guy who has wrote Ramana Chalisa. I'm not sure whether he sometimes attends satsang. He's from Sydney, and he sent us really nice, beautiful, colored, big poster-sized pictures of Bhagavan, and we got it framed and we have put it. One Bhaskaranji, he gave us Dakshinamurti, big statue made, and he got it done in Tiruvannamalai. So you can see the power of that, done in a rock there, and came to us sitting facing south. And then Saroja found in her garage one big Dakshinamurti, one Nataraj statue. So these things is coming, whoever brings whatever. All good, all good. When you have faith, you have trust, even a picture of Guru or something, you just sit and then it talks to you in silence and it takes you there. It is so beautiful. That is why I feel that we are so fortunate in this world where there are so-called teachings which can mislead, and there are millions of teachers and millions of sects and things, and one can get lost that what to follow, what not to follow. In these times, and then propaganda is a big thing, like some things are always on your face, on media and everywhere, you think that is important. But Bhagavan, during his time and even now, there is no propaganda. It is just organically, whoever feels, it comes out and he speaks out and it works. Since Bhagavan times, people are getting into it, It is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. And anyone who comes to satsangs and sits with people, whoever comes in our group and sits, the newcomer feels that everyone is so kind, so compassionate, so beautiful. And I can tell you, I can vouch that everyone would not be that nice maybe 20 years ago. when you come on this path, you know how much you have moved on. All those impurities are disappearing because of that fire within you. Sometimes we can't even recognize our own past. We feel like how I was behaving. And then you have compassion for others who are behaving like that in front of you, because you know that you were also like that. So it is a journey, I would say, for all of us. It is a journey of purification, because that energy comes when we are purer, and the moment it comes, it makes us completely pure. So it works both ways. To get that, we have to be pure, and when it comes, it makes us more pure. Like some work continues with it. Something continues with it. So stay in that fire of it. How much we know, how much we don't know. There is a saying in Buddhism that all the time stay as it is your first day in sadhana, in your practice. Because first day means you think you don't know anything, you are nothing, and you are humble, and there is humility. And stay like that. Bhagavan has given subtle hints about how the sadhak should be. He said you should be like very meek, no proud, no show of any kind. Not that you can afford or not, but he says stay like that. But you don't have to fake that also. Whatever you are, you are. But what he is giving us advice is that stay grounded. And when we are grounded, then it works more through us. It is so beautiful. And we are blessed to have company of these all beautiful forms, I know everyone seeks to have friends who are true, honest, reliable, dependable, honest, good at heart, isn't it? Everyone wants that type of person. Whether we are that or not doesn't matter, but we want that type of friends around us. And that's why we keep seeing deficiencies in people and we say, oh, he's not right. And this is the kripa, this is the grace that he gives us so many people around us. It is so beautiful. See, anyone's life, David Godman came in early 70s and he's still in that, how much information he has disseminated to the world. We all have benefited from that. We should be thankful to him. Same is with so many other people, Murugnar and Annamalai and Sadhu Om and present and past and all these people. We are so lucky. So we have to keep that fire going on. Thank you, Raj, for sharing. Very nice. Thank you. Steve, is it your hand from the past or again?
I just wanted to say again that the thing about these teachers, how they can do harm. I don't know, maybe 30 years ago, I was at a afternoon teaching by this prominent teacher. And he went on and on. And one of the things he said is something like, as long as you are still killing or eating killed animals, like being a vegetarian or smoking or something, you've not taken the first step on the spiritual path. Okay. So we're walking out, and this woman who was sitting beside me, there's about 50 people. She and I had a nice little conversation earlier. She was sad and down and everything. I said, what's wrong? She said, well, what he said about that, as long as, and I can't, whatever it was, give up smoking or whatever it was. So I haven't taken, so I kind of sat down with her and talked, and, and I said, maybe if you just kind of pray to God, he will give you the, I don't know what I said. I tried to encourage her to kind of forget about what he just got there saying. Do what you're, like Ramana Maharshi would do. Do what you're ready to do at your level. And don't believe, I didn't say this harshly like this, but don't believe what that guy just said, that you're not, you're here, you're blah, blah, blah. So again, I appreciate your having the nerve to highlight that. My David Gottman moment happened about, like, I thought, oh, this is, I understand what I'm supposed to do. I'd moved from New York City to Atlanta, and I was trying to figure out where to go and what to do spiritually. And I came across The Power of Now, and I read it and said, gee, it's pretty good. And Eckhart Tolle was having a retreat in Costa Rica like the next week or so. So I said, well, heck. And I had my assistant counsel tell the other assistants to counsel everybody. And I was going away, and I'm sure they were thinking, there Steve goes, another wild goose chase. At least we have a few days off. So I got on the plane, went down there. There's only like 25 people. This is where he got big, it's 1999 or 2000. And on the plane trip down there, again, this is for 9/11, it was looser, and the flight attendant came through, hey, it's only like a 2-hour hop from Atlanta to San Jose. And she, hello, blah, blah, blah. She gave me a little hint, a little mint, like you used to have a little chocolate mint or something, open it up, ate it. And then this woman beside her, she's going somewhere else, but she's on the same plane. And we went on that. For some reason, I turned the mint over, the wrapper over, kind of like a Chinese fortune cookie thing. And it said, like you said a while ago, that's what made me think of it. Would you live in the present? Every moment is new. It's just what Eckhart Tolle says, except every moment as if you had chosen it, blah, blah, blah. So I said to the woman beside me, hey, can I take a look? I think she thought I was coming on to her. Can I take a look at your mint wrapper? What? Can I look? So she gave me, and it said something like, you have a good personality or something. So, okay, I got the idea. I was supposed to be down here. So it's interesting how God calls us and confirms that we're on the path, You've heard the thing about God calls some people with a song, some with a shout, some with a whisper, some with a song, some with a dance. And I think that's the key, just to be willing to go by whatever path is put before you. So I went down there, by the way, and it was like a week. And this is before he got big. And he was saying things like, this would never be a big thing. There's no, what we got here, 25 people or 10 or something. And then the next year, I was looking at the paper. New York Times said spiritual teachers of the world had the Dalai Lama and Pope Francis or whatever, Eckhart Tolle. So the next time I was with him, which I think was in Vancouver where he lives or something, I said, hey, Eckhart, blah, blah, blah. And you just never know, which is why I think you said a while ago, just be willing, be open to the promptings that God lays on you, So that was just how that played out, like David Gottman, how he got into this, that, this is good. That's kind of what happened to me, and he told me down there, I said, what did you make of this enlightenment thing on the London bench? He didn't want to tell me. He finally said, well, I read these books and none of them, just another mind. Then I read this one book. What's it? You wouldn't tell me. And he finally says, I Am That by Nisargadatta. He said, that was the source code. It's what it said, for the power of now. So I kept following him around, but I really got into Nisargadatta, and that's been my main guy. So these little connections, I think, not that I'm looking for lights and stuff, but when they happen like that, when you live in the present, I still have that wrapper up there. I really appreciate them when they just happen of their own. Not that I need them now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just mention that in case it's kind of inspiring or to anybody else, you know.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
Trust the system, as you'd said, Sanjay.
Yeah, trust the system.
Thank you.
Thank you. Carmen, you can unmute yourself.
Namaskar, Sanjay ji, and everyone.
Can you turn on your video?
Turn on my video. Okay. I'm in Toronto and it is about 5:15 in the morning, so I'm still in bed.
That's okay. You can show us in the bed. Are you wearing clothes or not? If you have clothes on, then you can turn it on.
Okay, so I am picture in picture because I'm on the phone.
Okay.
And that's me. So I'm not always able to attend because of the time difference, but I really enjoy your satsang. This morning or today's satsang is very, very potent. And I hear you said that the mind is always questioning, and that's a good thing. I'm just paraphrasing. Because if we didn't have the mind, we would not be here at the satsang. Obviously, if we are in consciousness, there's no person to attend. So that resonated very well, or it sinked in deeply into me. And the second thing you said, and I have a question with that. The second thing you said is we must be the witness to the actions that we are doing. And in non-duality, where everything is Brahman, are we meant to engage in the action totally and fully, or are we meant to remain as the witness? And I will say a quote from Sri Nisargadatta that says, when I'm nothing, that's wisdom. And when I'm everything, that's love. And between those two, my life moves. So when you said we must be a witness to our action, it really resonated. And I'm trying to now reconcile, as in non-duality awareness, are we meant to engage in that, in those actions, in actions per se? And what came to me was we can engage in the actions, but we must still remember our true nature. So I'll ask your guidance, your wisdom on this.
Okay, can you repeat the question again a bit louder so everyone can listen? And
okay, so in non-duality, everything is Brahman. Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay, so our true nature is consciousness. And when we engage in actions, it's the body that's acting. So therefore, we must witness the actions we are committing, we're doing. So being is different from doing. And Nisargadatta said that when I am nothing.
No, I got this. No. I think the problem is, yeah, I know your question. I know. Just one thing I want to clarify people, that they bring some teaching to this platform and some teaching to this platform, and asking a person who every teaching is fine in its own context, but we can't superimpose on others. This is a very bad practice which people do. And Carmen, with all due respect to you, it never works. You bring something what Jesus said and you impose on me that this is Jesus said, explain me. I will say, I don't care. What he said, ask him. Because this never works. It has never worked like this. If you pick up non-duality, in ancient scriptures, there are thousands of teachers. Sometimes the teaching look contradictory. You bring to someone and ask him to explain. What explanation would you like which can satisfy you? Nothing. You will bring something else. And then again, you will ask me to satisfy your, if you like that teaching and you think this is truth, be with that. But if you want to confirm this with another teaching, that never works. Because if I have to say what Nisargadatta says, then I am a parrot. And I am not a parrot. And I am not repeating any scripture. And I am not saying that this teaching is right or this teaching is wrong. Every teaching is right which can keep you there. And every teaching is wrong if it does not bring you here. So all these jargon of words and this and I am everything and then I am nothing and all, and non-duality, the Brahman, we say Brahman and we should witness, all this is only intellectual tussle of no use. Only thing which works is practice. So I would say people should get rid of all these concepts that in non-duality there is a Brahman and we are Brahman, and you can say this millions of times, nothing will happen. Knowing a teaching and accepting at intellectual level and comparing notes with other teachings is of no use. And it explains very clearly when Carmenji, you were asking me that when we are doing, we have to be witness. How can when we are doing, how can we be witness? Your statement says very clearly when we are doing. Either you are doing or you are a witness. When in doership, you can never be a witness. You can only be a doer. And to get to this profound awareness, there is not an intellectual level of understanding in which you will understand. Because the moment you say when we are doing, you are a doer. This bhava, this emotion, this feeling, this intention will never come that I am doing. So if someone asks, when I am doing, how can I be witness? This question itself is wrong. That means you have not understood teaching at all. Because if I am doing, then I am a doer. I am full of ego. I have full of body-mind concept as me. Then there is no witnessing in here. Two things don't happen together. Either you are a doer or you are a being. And to be a being, you have to practice that. And the practice is self-inquiry or self-attention. And so this witnessing is not something which you can do if you think I am a doer. Two things can never happen. So, what Nisarg Datta is saying, I don't know what it means. But one thing is clear, that if you stay as awareness all the time, then you are no thing, no object, no form, no mind, no matter. You are that awareness in which everything is happening. Now my question to you is, do you experience that all the time, that you are awareness? Tell me.
No.
Then what is obstructing you to experience that? What is obstructing you to be that?
I guess when I get involved in tasks,
Okay,
I
right now you are not doing any task. When you sit quietly, then you experience awareness as you.
yes.
So you are awareness when you are not involved in any task. No thought touches you. You don't get into default mode network of involved and thinking as I have to do this, I have to do that, this happened with me. No thought, just emptiness, nothingness all the time when you're not doing anything. Is that right?
That's right, yes.
Then what is left? Even I'll tell you, if not doing, you are without thought even for a fraction of a second. Even for a fraction of a second, you can never be a doer during action. Because when you do any action and you say you get lost and you leave this witnessing as soon as you do, before doing, before the body does action, a thought comes as an intention, which makes you feel you are a doer. And that happens always in stillness before the action comes. And you can take it as Bereshaft potential on EEGs. This potential comes from the frontal lobe, prefrontal lobe, before the motor action happens. And that is that intention. So it can never ever happen that you are doing and then you are a doer, and when you are sitting, you are emptiness. No. There's something wrong in your understanding, because even if you are in that witnessing for a fraction of a second, I'm not saying 1 second, I'm saying fraction of a second, you can never be in doer mode during action. Because doership in action can only come when there is a thought about it. If there is no thought I am doing, then who is doing? Who tells you that you are doing? Neighbors tell you, your family people tell you that you are doing this. We only think I am doing. And this thinking comes before the action. Actually, I have to say, during action, sometimes we have no thought. Sometimes we are so involved in a thought, there is no thought at all. It happens before the thought, before the action, the thought comes. Otherwise, everything is so spontaneous, unplanned. In this moment, everything is just happening. Happening in whom? Who is doing? Now, when you say, when I do action, when I am that, then I am a doer, but otherwise I am not. But that means there is attachment to the body, because if you are awareness, then there are thousands of people around you who are doing things. Why you think that this body is only doing, not others? Why you don't think that other bodies are also you? When you think you are Brahman all the time, when you are not doing anything, when you are pure awareness, Brahman all the time, without action, and as soon as the action starts, you are sucked into a body. It's not possible. That is why I am saying that intellectual understanding of Advaita is of no use. We can read books, we can compare notes, we can look through beautiful, sayings of teachers, but only thing which works is practice, practice, and practice. When we are not doing anything, mind is doing. Otherwise, where the doership comes from? Awareness is so profound that once you get hold of this awareness for a fraction of a second, it has so much intense fascination and it eats up your all doership and ego. It is such a strong fire. It does not leave you. Rather, I have seen people, and lot of people with whom I have spoken one-to-one, and even in this group, people think when they are in some activity, let's say playing golf or gardening or walking or, in nature, they have less doership. But when they are sitting or meditating or not doing anything, then the thoughts occupy their mind and they can see how much doership is there. Actually, it is the other way. I would say that respect that silence in you, which even now is watching that we are talking and something is happening, even during discussion, argument, or trying to understand the concept, understand that there is this witness which you don't have to be witness. You can't claim now I am a witness, now I am a doer. No, this entity is fake. That has to leave. That you can never fix. All the forms which we see are coming from us. Let's not call Brahman or these terms makes us coming from me. When I wake up, everything is there, including the body. When I sleep, everything disappears. So who is the source? I am the source. What happens when I wake up? Why I think I am this body? Just because of body identity, conditioning. My parents told me, people told me I was born on that and that date. And then when I lift hand, only this hand lifts, not your hand lifts. When I speak, only this mouth opens. When I think, nobody gets to my thoughts. As a kid, in first few years of life, when they think everyone is thinking the same, or everyone knows what they are thinking. And sometimes they are ashamed of their thoughts and they speak out and try to correct others what comes in their mind. Later, when the ego solidifies, they know that nobody is knowing, so I can think anything stupid. Nobody knows. So basically, we are not conditioned, then we get conditioned by this so-called world. Our education, family, culture, religion, all conditions us. The one which conditions us in the worst way is the religion. Religion makes us very strong about our belief system, about particular dogmas, and makes us very truly identified with one and treats others as something. Some people have even dislike for other religions. All this is conditioning. And when this conditioning of the body mind by some teaching, you start analyzing that whatever is happening, I am not the doer. And I'll tell you how to improve on this non-doership. Don't go with any intentions for anything. And you will realize things still happen. Witnessing cannot occur just by intellectual understanding, and it is the grace of the divine in us which somehow just manifest. At the end, I have to say it is only grace. It is kripa. Kripa and grace of whom? That which wants to reveal itself in us. Though it is the one which is manifesting everywhere, but we think I am a form with the conditioning of mind as if everything is hidden from us. Hidden because of only one reason. We have created our separate existence as a doer. In witnessing, that ego is not witnessing. This is what so many people don't understand, that this is not the ego which witnesses. Witness is witness. It's not that I witness and then I move into ego mode and then witness mode. Actually, it is very difficult even to make anyone understand this, because words always felt deficient in making someone understand this. Because the one which knows everything does not need any understanding. And the one which we try to make understand has to disappear. So understanding is of no use to that. That has to go. Then who has to understand? Try to find the one in you who does not need any understanding. He is the knowledge of all knowledge. And the one who is trying to understand has to disappear. And it happens in inner silence only. Inner silence is the language of Brahman, language of self, true self. And everything else is projected on it. That is conditioning. Disown it and you will be free. Trying to fix it and you are in trap. It is a self-created trap. It is like the self is always free, without bondage. Sakshi, witness. It is reflected through mind in body, with thoughts and with family and relationship and job and all. And somehow this reflected consciousness in the body mind thinks, I am in bondage, and cries and wants help. And that one who thinks I'm in bondage is called as spiritual seeker. And rest, billions of people are also in bondage, but they don't see it like that. At least there is some opening in a seeker. And someone says, you are actually not this. It is just a reflected consciousness, Chidabhas. You are actually the one who is never involved. Don't try to fix it. See what you are. And you say, okay, what should I do? Actually, in reality, nothing to be done. Just accept it and be. But no. Mind wants understanding. Question after question after question. And I believe teachers confuse more than help sometimes, because the statements need to be understood to realize there's nothing to understand. This is free. This is bondage. Know that you are free and not bondage, and it's all done. Why to see yourself from the reflected mind? Disown this mind. We are already outside this boxing ring in which this fight is going on. We are watching, but it is like what people call is that transposition. That image is coming there, and it's transportation, that we are this. And that is a little part of us which thinks I'm involved. Very, very minute, tiny. And the tiny part, once it knows that no, I am never involved, this tiny part becomes infinite, because it is infinite. Not because it becomes, it is infinite. But somehow the reflection of that in that form appears as separate. For an example, let's say moon shining at night. In every pond it looks separate. Some pond is bigger, some river, ocean, in a bucket, in a pitcher. Everywhere it looks different forms. And that the pitcher can say, I am so small, I am restricted. If the moon in that pitcher, let's say, is a human being, will get so frustrated because at subconscious level it knows that I am infinite. And the moment someone tells that moon, you are not, you are here, but this is reflection, you are there up, you are vast. And the moon says, thank you very much. Exactly the same is happening right now in every human being. If someone understands this, but this understanding is grace only. You can have hundreds of teachers, or maybe no teacher, someone you listen podcast or YouTube or somewhere just for a second, and you know it. There are not many things to be known. We don't have to learn all the shlokas and Sanskrit and, it is just that. We don't have to be literate. We don't have to be intellectual. No need of anything. Trust in the system. That's the mantra of today, you know. Steve said, trust in the system. Trust in you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sanjay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Once you get this silence in you, it will never leave you, even if you want to leave it. Your mind is your mind as long as you think it is your mind. And your mind becomes no mind the moment you give up your dependability on it. And you abide in Brahman, Sat Chit Anand. Once you get it, it is forever. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Arunachal Ramanaya. Shanti. Thank you, everyone.